Here we have a 2024 Toyota Camry. This Camry comes in the SE trim level in midnight black metallic. And then the interior consists of black softex and fabric. And the powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. That's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, giving us 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. Now, as we come around to the front end here, we do get these LED headlamps standard. Like the look there, and please excuse the glare as the sun starts to come down. And then I actually like, especially in this midnight black, these accents here. It's kind of like a finished black plastic, but it looks great, especially with this color here. It doesn't seem like a cheap black plastic, but that is what it is. Down to the wheels here, we do get these 18-inch machine finish alloy wheels. They look really good, especially with this black again. Gonna open the door here, and then door handles there, power door lock controls are here. We get one-touch automatic up and down windows on all 4 doors. Power mirror controls are here. A couple bottle holders, auto high beams, hood release, and then gas cap, trunk, traction control. And then this is the release for the manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Now, I am impressed that we do get this power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar. And I do have that adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So we're gonna go ahead and check out that rear space. So sitting behind myself here, knees are just barely grazing the back of the seat. And all of this feels plushy. It's not like I'm hitting any metal or anything directly, and that helps. But we have the seat back pockets on both sides, which is good. Little storage here. Now, we don't have the rear AC vents that I just saw in the Camry XSE, but these vents seem to hit back here pretty well. Just hopefully your driver or front passenger won't get too cold, because then you might suffer. And then we do have the yellow lights for the back. And the XSE I just did had the LED dome lights back here. The bottle holders are still in the middle seat, which is good. Grab handles here. We could probably hang 2 plastic hangers or several metal hanger hooks there. And we do get the standard rear side airbags. Now let me make sure I went ahead and popped this gas cap. There it is. Just so y'all can see in there, it is lockable, and it has a release up front, which is nice. Takes regular, no problem. Coming around to the back end here. Big shout out to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description of this one in particular. Now, I do find it interesting. The XSE I just did had, I think it was 206 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. So just a little bit more power than this Camry SE. And I also noticed that we do not have a button back here to pop the trunk on this SE. And I find that very interesting, because on that XSE we did have that. So we have to hold this here. And there we have the trunk space, which there is an abundance of it, I think. And then I'll show you how that rear seat folds down. You can do it for both sides. Now, we'll lift this all-weather mat up, and then we will lift this. And we have our jack and whatnot here. And then if I pull a little harder, there's our spare donut underneath all that. It's a workout every time I do it. Oh man. I'll put all that back. And here's where the button would go to go ahead and pop the trunk from back here. But again, we don't have that in this one in particular. But let's come around to the rear passenger side, and we'll see how the seat folds down. So after you hit that release, just pull down, folds flat. You can run longer objects through to the front, and very easy to just snap it back into place. And then our anchors are hidden behind here. And then here's the window sticker. And I will say, as you all are looking at this, you can pause anywhere you need to. This midnight black sparkles like crazy. And that's one of the things I love about this paint color. But we're getting 28 city, 39 highway in terms of fuel economy. And then under 30 grand for this car out the door. So that's pretty impressive. And then here we have our front passenger seat. Big plus is we can actually pump the seat up and down on this side. A lot of the times you get a manual seat on the passenger side. There have been cars almost twice as much money as these that you can't do that to. So pretty impressed they still allow you to push the seat up and down. And turn this AC speed down a little bit. Now there's the glove compartment. Owner's manuals are in there. And then as we come back around to the front end, we're gonna go ahead and pop the hood. And there's that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. But all that's done, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the interior. So I love the leather wrap steering wheel here. I'm glad we don't have any black plastic or something like that in this trim. There's the horn. Over here to the radio. There's the home page there. Menu, you can go ahead, go through your audio. You do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth, and you also get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility too. And then the navigation app's not installed, but there's a button for that. Apps are there. I mean, this is just a very simple system to use, and I like that it's easy for, whether you like touchscreens or not, you'll learn this pretty quickly. You can adjust volume here, cut the audio on or off there, and then you can use this as a tune knob for the radio stations. And there's the backup camera there. Okay, picture. I hate the guidelines don't follow. You usually turn the steering wheel, but no big deal. Hazards are there. And then down here, we do get the dual zone automatic climate controls. We also have a front defroster, rear defroster with the heated mirrors there. And then we can choose, sorry about the glare again, fan direction here, AC toggle. We can sync and unsync or just adjust the passenger temperature there, adjust fan speed, and then cut the whole system off there. Toggle that auto mode and then turn that off, just adjust the fan speed again. Gonna move the shifter out of the way. We have a USB-A port, 12 volts, and then a little storage pocket for your phone. In the higher trim levels, this is where the wireless charging pad is, but you can still move the storage compartment there and have that hidden storage right in there. Now for the shifter, pull the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, come over here, manually shift, or you can use the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which I think is pretty cool for this to be a cheaper vehicle. And then we have our eco mode, normal mode, and sport mode for the drive modes there. Bottle holders. Now in the XSE I just drove, and I'm only bringing this car up again so y'all can kind of see the differences between $4,000 or $5,000, see what's missing. The electronic parking brake would be here, but in this SE, you have a foot pedal brake, so just click that on or off there. And then the center console cubby space, we have a USB-A, USB-C charge port there. There's a view of the back seat from up here. Sunglasses holder. Now we do get the more premium LED lights up front. And then vanity mirror there. And this has a light. I might have been missing something, but I swear the XSE I just did not have a light there. And that would be weird if this had a light on this SE and the XSE didn't. But anyways, back to the steering wheel. Blinkers are here. High beams can be toggled there, and then you can flash here. And then you can also decide whether you want the auto high beams to be on or off there. And the indicator for that's right in that upper right-hand corner. Windshield wiper controls, one time. And then we have off, intermittent, low, high. We can adjust the intermittent here. And then we pull up here for the front wiper fluid. And then let's go here first. We do get radar cruise control standard. And if you want to turn that off, just hold it. It'll turn on the constant speed control. And then we can adjust speed, cancel, adjust the gap adjust for the radar cruise there. And then we do have the lane tracing assistant, which we can turn on or off there. And then this mode is what you use to go through your audio sources. And then you can go through your track list or radio station presets by using these buttons here. Voice recognition, volume down, volume up, Bluetooth button, back button, and the back button along with these 4 arrows, all of this is for your gauge cluster functions here in the middle. So we can see we have the eco indicators. There's a lot you can do here, and I like how it's sorted out. And then your settings, you can go in here, and then if you want to change anything like language or units, you can just go in there and do it pretty easily. And again, you can use the back button to go through or to go back in some of these menus. And we don't have push button start, but we do have the turnkey key fob here. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2024 Toyota Camry SE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Camry SE, I know I've said it a million times, but I drove the Camry XSE right before this one. I'm so glad I did, because the power outputs are very, very similar, almost identical. The XSE has about 2 horsepower more, I think 1 pound-foot of torque more. But where that thing really seems like it has a lot more on this Camry is with the exhaust. The exhaust on that XSE, even with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, sounded great. And this exhaust isn't bad, but I can just tell how much more throaty that XSE exhaust was compared to this SE. It just sounds normal, which is fine. But that XSE exhaust, really like that. Now, if you don't like a lot of the, well, I shouldn't say if you don't like, but if you don't care about a lot of the features that the XSE has for another $5,000-6,000, this is a very good option, because it pretty much drives the same. You have the same drive modes. It's just little things like the electronic parking brake not being here, not having the blind spot monitors, having it's only 2 inches smaller, but I feel like it makes a big difference in its presence having this 7-inch screen as opposed to the 9-inch screen that I had in that XSE. But again, from a driver standpoint, it's gonna drive pretty similarly. You won't look as good driving it, but now I will say, with the 18-inch alloy wheels as opposed to those 19-inch alloy wheels on the XSE, the ride quality, even though I think this has a sport tune suspension as well, that one just felt, because of the wheels, a bit more choppy. This one here is quite a bit smoother. Now I can still feel the road, but not like in that XSE. This just feels more like a typical Camry. Now, again, me, I would take that XSE all day, because that car was bad, especially in that cavalry blue. But this midnight black metallic, again, looks good. I apologize for the dirt that was on here. It's rained recently, and it's not a easy car wash to get to, for me, at least at this store. Some of my other ones I can run through the car wash real quick because I have one on site, but no big deal. Especially with the black, it's kind of harder to see anyway. And it was just rain dirt, but getting off topic. So I like, even with the fabric and the softex interior, this seat is extremely comfortable for what it is. And a lot of that has to do with having the quite adjustable driver's seat that includes a 2-way power lumbar support. So if I had a manual seat here, it wouldn't be as comfortable because I couldn't get that perfect position. But here I'm able to do that, just like in the XSE. Now those leather seats in the XSE did have heat as well as power seats on both sides, and this one only has on the driver's side. But especially if you're going to be using this mostly as a commuter car, a lot of those other features won't be a big deal to you. You get everything you need with the CarPlay, Android Auto. You have a USB charger in here, radar cruise, and you still get the lane centering too. So if you have longer commutes, it just makes them more enjoyable. But I feel the space in here, and it might just be because the screen's smaller, I don't know, but I feel like there's a bit more space in here, and it might have something to do with it having a little less going on within the cabin. But I mean, just a very easy car to drive, very enjoyable drive. And it doesn't ride like a Mercedes, but it's just always been a good car. It rides well, it drives well. Now, it's not the best at anything, but it's very good at almost everything. I'm gonna put it in a sport mode, and then I'm not gonna thrash it, but I am gonna give it a little power, and then I'm gonna test out these paddle shifters. And I love downshifting with this transmission. It's just so fun. And the shifts are extremely quick. Now, they're not like lightning fast, but for a traditional four-door, heck, you'd even call it a family car, I mean, these shifts are impressive. Snappy almost. Now we have the full suite of Toyota safety sense going on now, so you're supposed to keep your hands on the wheel at all times. I'm just doing this to show you as an example just how good the system is. Lane centering active, radar cruise controls active, and just makes cruising down the interstate that much easier. And I mean, the sound acoustics in here are fantastic. I'm cruising at 75, the sun's going down, so the wind's kind of picked up, and it sounds pretty quiet in here. And the road noise is unnoticeable. Very impressed. That's one thing that the SE does have over the XSE by a long shot. It's just the overall cabin acoustics in here. It's not as loud because you don't have a lot of, I guess, body work going on, like the side skirts and the spoiler and all of that. It's just this is a straight car. It's meant to be more aerodynamic, not for performance, but for comfort and fuel economy. I mean, I couldn't take a nap, but it's very comfortable in here. And I do think for the money being under 30 grand, a competitor, I mean, you can still get a 24 Malibu. I think that's a pretty good competitor. The Accord's probably the one that people think of most, along with the Altima. And I just think you get, I mean, the Toyotas have a track record, specifically these naturally aspirated 4-cylinders and the V6s. They have a track record of being more reliable, and they've had a track record longer than, let's say, a Malibu or the Altima with the CVT or the Accord with the 1.5 turbo, as opposed to the outgoing naturally aspirated ones that could get 400,000 miles. You're not seeing that right now. They might last that way, but I'm hearing quite a few complaints about the turbo 1.5 in the Accords. But I mean, this one's still tried and true, I think, other than the 8-speed automatic transmission, which still gets the job done. And I think this is a heck of a deal. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Toyota Camry in the SE trim level.